So a very seriously trained, intelligent doctor, okay, and researcher and professor. Now, does that help you in any way of thinking about what happened to Dr. Mary Sherman, as she's known?
My first impression would be she died in the lab. That would be my first impression.
Okay.
Okay. Because of the sound around her.
What sound?
It's like the tinkling of test tubes, the sound of a burner.
Oh,
and the smell of is it gas that they used? I can never remember.
propane, I think.
Yeah, and I'm getting the sense of a smell, but I feel like there's more to her looking past the radiation. Did she use animals? Because that would have been about the time frame we would have used animals for testing.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I don't suppose one of them's a monkey, is it?
Absolutely.
Because that's the other sound I can hear.
You can hear a monkey.
Within the chatter of a monkey.
Oh, get out of here.
No, yeah. As you can tell, my eyes are closed, so I'm looking.
I know this is all happening internally into your head. I know I can't believe it. Okay, well, you gained a lot right there. So I'm going to now take you virtually to the location, okay, where the strange story kicks off.
Welcome to Seeing Dead People, the slow burn storytelling podcast where our host, Nicola, challenges her psychic friend D'Arcy to communicate with the dead and unravel historical ghost stories, unsolved true crime mysteries, and all things paranormal. If you want to be spooked, amazed, and entertained, stick around for an astonishing, deep dive convo with the spirits on the other side. And now, Radio Sydney presents Seeing Dead People, Episode 57, Murder, Mystery and Cover-Ups, The Inexplicable Death of Dr. Mary Sherman. Oh, and before Nicola and D'Arcy dive in, we'd like to give a quick shout-out of thanks to our SDP fan Tall Rock 20 for suggesting we investigate this bizarre, unsolved killing. Please keep these fascinating case ideas coming.
Hello, D'Arcy. Good evening.
Good evening, Nicola.
I'm excited, as always, to talk to you. I have, I think, a challenging storyline tonight. I'm just going to give you only one hint at the start, and that is I'm going to say up front that our story is really up there in the woo-woo, freaky kind of category.
Okay.
We're talking strange. Before we dive in, I have to remind our audience that some of the photos you are looking at, I cannot show our audience. Some photos I can show our audience, and I will show, but they can find them on the internet within a couple of clicks of searching on Google. So it's not a big deal. And they're not essential, obviously, to enjoy the show. So all I now will say, D'Arcy, have you any idea of what we're going to discuss tonight?
Well, okay. As you said woo-woo, I'm going to go, well, it could deal with a ghost, a sighting, possibly murder as well, but I'm guessing ghost.
Okay, all right. Well, I think you're going to be kind of surprised. It's very different. Okay, so I'm going to show you or ask you to look at, because you just haven't seen them yet. I'm going to ask you to look at photo number 1, and I'm going to show it to our audience. It's a black and white shot of our main character, taken, I think, sometime in the 1940s. I'd like you to describe this dark-haired woman and tell us why she's of interest today, and I will show her to our audience.
All right. Well, first of all, sort of looks like my mom.
Really?
Okay. And, oh, well, okay. Either she's, okay, this is going to sound really stupid, but is she, okay, she's a dead person I'm looking for, or is she more likely practicing something?
When you say practicing something, what do you mean?
Witchcraft?
Oh, no, she's a dead person.
She is a dead person, but you don't know whether or not she ever delved in.
No, but I think she kind of delved in some, let's just say, freaky kind of stuff, unusual stuff.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
because it does feel very weird around her. It
Okay.
does.
The wheel runner. Okay. Anything else you want to say about her? What her looks are? Does she say anything?
Okay,
Tell you
like,
anything?
okay, let me do it like this. She's not the murderer, or is she the murdered?
She is the murdered.
Okay,
So
so
our victim.
because they did use the word murdered, so I really had to confirm which way they meant, and they being my spirit guide.
Okay. So what do your spirit guides say?
Like, okay, so did she? Is she? It's really weird because I know she's got a necklace on, but
Yep.
it's like that necklace represents something else, as though she spent years studying for something. The white coat is throwing me, so I don't know if that is white coat as in the white coat syndrome, or whether or not she's just wearing a white dress coat. Mind you, I guess might not be white. And was she on the okay, because the murder is throwing me again. Does the murder as in M belong to her?
Does she have an M as part of her
Yeah.
name?
Yes.
Yes, she does.
Okay. And she might be taller than you think, because I'm just short of 5'10", but I tell people I'm 5'10". So I'm thinking she's about my height.
Okay. I think she's a tallish woman too. Yes, I agree.
Okay. You know who she reminds me of? Sigourney Weaver in a movie she once did, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay. Well, she certainly has, she's attractive. She's got the dark hair and fairish sort of skin, narrowish face. So I would say, yeah, Sigourney Weaver is a good pick for what she might look like. Okay. Well, then I'm going to ask you to look at our second photograph, and it's going to be this same gal, and it's a color image, okay, because it's moved forward in years. Can you see number 2? I want you to tell us what happened to this woman.
Okay, so she is wearing a white lab coat.
Yeah.
Oh, it is in the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking at her picture really closely. First of all, she strikes me as being very friendly, very outgoing, very curious about the way life goes.
Yeah.
She's definitely been murdered.
She's definitely been murdered, you think?
Yeah.
What tells you that? Other than the fact I told you 3 minutes ago she was.
Yeah, I know. But it's like okay, from her first picture where she's very serious, this one is like she's excited about something she's done, and no one wants anyone to know what it is.
Excited. But how do you know nobody wants to know what she's done? Like, how do you get that sort of sense?
If you tilt the picture down, other way. No, it's not going to work this time.
Oh, the other one did well. Maybe it's the color.
Yeah. It's just this feel like, and they're two different pictures, because the one she's got something that looks like a circle with a Mazda sign in it.
Yeah.
And this one is totally different. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a feel.
Okay. All righty. Well, then I'm going to properly introduce you now, D'Arcy, to Dr. Mary Stultz Sherman. Ah, all right. At 51, she is a widow. She's well-liked, highly regarded orthopedic surgeon and a professor at Tulane University, and is very well known for her groundbreaking work in cancer research, specifically involving radiation therapy. So, a very seriously trained, intelligent doctor, okay, and researcher and professor. Now, does that help you in any way of thinking about what happened to Dr. Mary Sherman, as she's known?
Well, I don't think she died of cancer. Okay. My first impression would be she died in the lab. That would be my first impression.
Okay.
Okay. Because of the sound around her.
What sound?
It's like the tinkling of test tubes, the sound of a burner.
Oh,
and the smell of is it gas that they used? I can never remember.
Propane, I think.
Yeah, and I'm getting the sense of a smell, but
Well,
I feel like there's more to her looking past the radiation. Did she use animals? Because that would have been about the time frame we would have used animals for testing.
absolutely.
Okay. And I don't suppose one of them's a monkey, is it?
Absolutely.
Because that's the other sound I can hear.
You can hear a monkey. This one was
The chatter of a monkey.
Oh, get out of here.
No, yes. As you can tell, my eyes are closed, so I'm looking.
I know this is all happening internally into your head. I know I can't believe it. Okay, well, you gained a lot right there. So I'm going to now take you virtually to the location, okay, where the strange story kicks off. Any idea where we might be going?
Okay, it's not cold there wherever it is, like it is here, but I think she's lived somewhere cold. Okay. If I say I can put a boot on, does that make any sense? Like I would say a boot is Italy, but I don't think that's where I'm going.
A boot. No,
Yeah.
no. We'll continue. I don't know what a boot might be related to, but as I discuss it, maybe you'll find out. Well, you are right in that it's warmer, and that is she has had experience in the cold. Today we're heading south, very far south, to the bottom of the US of A, in the middle of the US of A, to the city nicknamed the Big Easy, which is, of course, New Orleans. Okay. And it's located on the Mississippi River, and it is near the Gulf of Mexico. Not to be confused with the Gulf of America, as one new president is attempting to make change. It is the Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to get some geography under our belt. Have a look at photo number 3 and one of our little Google Maps that shows us where New Orleans is. And there it is. There's the southern states. There's Florida. And there's New Orleans right down there. Your boot?
Yeah, looking at it, yes, that's my boot.
Yeah, well, I was thinking when you said that, I thought, other people talk about Italy as being the boot of Italy, the bottom of Italy. Then I thought, no, I bet you it's Florida. So yes, there it is.
What I wanted to why I asked you if she was into like magic or something, or because New Orleans is known for its magic and voodoo and
Spooky things.
yeah.
Exactly. You're got it. Okay. If you look at image number 4, we again have a fascinating Google map.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're zooming in on literally 3101 St. Charles Avenue.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a location that's in obviously New Orleans. It's a nice location. We'll have a look at what it looks like in a second, but I'm just wondering, are you getting any more tinglings from just seeing these maps? Because I'll never forget that when we saw or talked about episode 40, which was the mystery of the disappearance of the Mary Celeste on the ocean, and you were able to see on a flat Google map the Mary Celeste in the ocean. It was just astounding. So, are you seeing anything today on these maps?
Well, the only thing I'm picking up is like a white nondescript building, and strangely enough, the French Quarter is everyone else is standing out, but the French Quarter is going like as though it's zooming away from me, as though don't come here. I don't want you to see what's going on here. And I don't know if that has something to do with what does go on in the French Quarter. But yeah, all the other names on this map are standing out.
Okay.
It's like a 3D effect.
That's neat. I mean, I don't get the 3D effect at all. I just get a flatness. Okay. Well, we're going to zoom in one more time. We're going to look at a building. You talked about being kind of a plain, nondescript building. I can show this photo of the building that we're going to be focusing on. It's actually it's not white. It's like a very pale yellow, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a join at the back.
Yeah, it does look like a big U.
So have a look. What do you think? This building, something very tragic and very strange and very bizarre happened to Dr. Sherman in this building. Some these flats, and I'm not quite sure which one. Sorry. Have you got any sense of anything from that?
Okay. this would be more likely a residence than what I thought it was going to be, but maybe it was a medical facility at one time.
Apartment building.
It is her.
Apartment building.
Okay, I'm going to say, I think she might have had some medical stuff in here because I am picking up like beakers and everything.
Okay.
But I would have thought, I don't want to say she was butchered, but I definitely feel like they found her. It's weird. I really want to say she was cut up in pieces, but I don't know if that's something else in her apartment. But I don't feel like she was hung, but
Okay.
I feel suspended, but I feel it's disembobulated, the right word, where I'm not feeling all my part.
Okay, so you feel like you're missing something?
Yeah,
Or you're in pieces or what?
you're missing something. I'm in pieces. Don't know how to describe it.
And so you're just getting senses of that. Like, I don't, you've had no hints of this at all. We're looking at a pretty nondescript little building.
Yeah, no, I haven't. This is first time I'm opening the pictures to look at them
Right.
because this
Yeah.
week's been crazy, but that's just a feeling like, yeah, disembobulated is the best word I can think of.
Well, you're getting woo-woo yourself. Now, just have a look at the next photograph, which is photo number 6, which I can't show the audience, but
Yeah.
it is a close-up of one of the wings of that twin building. And I don't know if you feel anything more from that picture.
No, it's still the same feeling. And so this must have been, okay, the way it looks now, I would say it's one of the fancier old style hotels where you've got the California balcony so anyone can walk around this place. I feel like I know whoever came to the door.
Okay.
And it feels like a man. It doesn't feel like a woman, but I can see one man here. He's maybe 5'10", give or take. Dark hair, slicked back, white face, wearing a dark colored suit jacket, white, with a dark tie.
Wow, he sounds a little bit like from the FBI or something.
Could be.
All right.
Government official.
Oh, that's what he looks like, right? Okay. Well, then we're to move on to get into things that are a little more disturbing. Okay, as we come into what happened to Mary, and you are so astoundingly close to what happened to Mary. It kind of gives me the chills, as always. It's a real astounding moment. So move to the next photograph, photograph number 7. I cannot show this photograph. It's a very blurry photograph. It's going to take you a few seconds, D'Arcy, to figure it out because it's a bit odd. I admit it's a very compelling image, though. It's black and white. It's got 2 men wearing white shirt, and they're looking on the ground or the carpeted area at some weird, I don't know, patches of white and patches of dark. That's all.
And
what do you think it's showing us?
Wow.
Showing
Well,
us?
it's been like it looks like they're looking at, there's the guy I was seeing. He's just got his jacket off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he just got it. So he must be a detective of some sort.
He's the one with the black tie?
Yeah, with the black tie, the white shirt, the hair is exactly the way I thought it would look. He just doesn't have his jacket on. Why does it look like a bloodbath?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. What happened here? What are they?
Well,
they're looking at some very strange stuff on the ground, on the carpeting in this room, which ends up being Dr. Sherman's bedroom.
well, it looks as though it looks charred. It looks, for me, it's like there's only part, but there's something that covered it. And this is definitely her, though. Whatever they're looking at, this is what's ever left of her.
How
Or no, use this. Because when I said that I felt like discombobulated from my body, it's like I can see various other things, but there's something else like, okay, my mouth has gone dry as though I'm tasting some sort of acid. Like, You ever walked into a room and someone's used too much bleach and then your mouth is
Yes,
dry, or you
exactly.
walked into an old house that has been burning stuff? It's like all of a sudden, all that taste that you can taste in the air is in my mouth. And
Wow.
it does feel like someone tried to hide something. And so either they bleached the crap out of it or else they burnt the crap out of it. It's one or the other, because those are the two things I'm smelling.
Well, you are dead right in the latter. They burnt the crap out of her.
But they didn't burn the house down, so they had to have done it in a controlled manner.
Very quick of you to notice that. Exactly. That's why I said it was a woo-woo freaky kind of case. We'll move on to the next photograph, which is similar to the one you just saw. It's just a different angle. Photograph number 8. Again, I can't show it. Of the two detectives looking at the detritus, the debris, the leftovers. I don't really know specifically how much is real flesh there or real human body bits,
I
but
mean,
it's not attractive. That's for sure. It's scary.
it makes you appreciate the fact that they have forensic.
Yes. Yes. Well, you have found you've come up with much of the storyline as to what happened to Mary Sherman, at least what it looked like. D'Arcy, it's amazing. And I don't know how you can check this stuff, but around 4 o'clock in the morning in July the 21st, in 1964, the fire department responds to a concern about burning in the apartment building, okay, emanating from Dr. Sherman's apartment. When they arrived, they found a mattress burning in her bedroom. Okay. This is where the freaky stuff begins. Under the burning mattress was Sherman's charred and mutilated body.
Yeah.
Her
Um,
right arm was missing and her body was partially burnt. So you said quite a while ago, I feel discombobulated. I feel like things are missing. I feel like I think you were talking about being burned. So you had all that.
I went back to look at number 7 again.
Okay.
And if you actually look on the carpet, which again you can't show, it looks as though the face was burnt into the carpet.
Oh, where?
Just above the white, across from the white blob,
Okay.
I can see eyes, mouth. So my guess is her head was at the top of that number 7.
God. Okay. Oh, wow.
Then you can also see a reflection of a spirit on the wall. You've got eyes. I
Wait. Spirit on the wall. Where's that? I actually see looks like blood spatter, or maybe it's burnt, charred bits
it
on.
charred, but above where the chair is, and there's an image, or for me, and there's a person looking in from outside, but it's a dead person, so you probably won't see it.
I don't see it.
And there's an eagle, or the phoenix. I can see the image of the phoenix. So she rose from this.
Wait. Where's the phoenix?
Out the window, you can see an image of a phoenix.
Out the window. At the very top of the window?
Yeah.
The little arms outstretched like this?
Yeah.
And you interpret that as phoenix.
And the phoenix.
Right.
So,
yeah, literally.
But you should be on my end, because, oh my God, can I smell the rubber smell off of either the floor or whatever, the mattress itself. I actually smell that really, yeah. So she was still awake when she was still breathing when they set her on fire.
I don't know how you could know that.
But just the way I can hear her. And it's okay. So I'm right. Someone wanted to silence her for something, but maybe not her research for something else she saw.
Well, one thing that was evident pretty darn quickly, it was a bizarre burn.
Right? Yeah.
It was, as you said, the house didn't burn down. It was very contained, and it was super hot flame. Super hot. Not full heat level of a house fire. So that kind of freaked people out. What the heck was all that about? The bedroom was the only part that was significantly affected. As you said, the body was damaged. It was mutilated. It was charred. She had burns and some other injury. What other injuries did she have?
You mentioned that her one arm was missing, but I think there are obviously some broken bones, but it feels like something's missing in the abdominal from the chest down area. Feels like there's either organs missing or
I can't stand this. You are so darn good. I can't stand it. You're just stealing everything. Okay. But how did she die, do you think? Do you think she was burnt to death or did she die in another manner?
I think she died in another manner, but she was still present. My guess is that they may have cut her throat to bleed her out, but then they started pulling organs. And I tell you, this almost sounds ritual.
Well, it is bizarre. That's for sure. Okay. Well, bloodstains in the bedroom indicated she'd been attacked before the fire began. Obviously, this is not a typical incident. They had a lot of challenges, the police, in trying to figure this out. No sign of forced entry. All right. So some speculated logically that she knew her attacker or attackers. That's not been confirmed. They wondered if it had anything to do with her cancer research. They wondered about the heat of the fire. They worry about the idea that she dealt with radiation. Was she involved in secret government projects? Because the 60s, as you know, was a decade of paranoia of the Cold War, of the CIA wandering around, spying, I think, on everybody. Everybody thought everybody else was a communist. A crazy time, there's no doubt. So, what do you think about those possibilities?
Jet fuel would definitely burn fast and intensely, more so than gasoline or propane. Is there a possibility? Yes, I do still feel like there's something she may have revealed, talked about that someone wanted to hide. So possibility could be a conspiracy theory. I'm all for conspiracy theories. Now,
I mean, they're great fun.
it's funny though that I feel like she knew whoever she let in the door.
Well, that would relate to the fact that there wasn't any forced entry.
Yeah, because like I didn't see forced entry. I didn't see like someone broke in and maybe it was staged to look like someone tried to rob her, but I don't think they did. I think it's staged. So that would lead to someone trying to hide something.
Okay, so you don't think it was a personal vendetta? Someone she slighted, or a man she refused, or
No, because no. She was a very independent woman, no doubt, given the time frame and everything. People would have looked at her funny, thinking, what's wrong with you? You're not sitting down, you don't have the kitties, sort of thing. But she
Right.
was dedicated to her research.
yeah.
And I think this is all about something she discovered that people wanted to hide.
Okay. Well, let's talk. I'll give you some information about the autopsy, and we'll talk about that.
Okay. Just before you go on to that autopsy.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the side, because when I'm looking at you, this is the side I'm picking up that may have been disconnected. This side, yeah, my right side is the disconnected side. My left side is more whatever transpired from here to here is what stopped me from moving. So she was definitely, it's either a juggler or I guess if you stuck it in the chest, right? Which makes me think whoever knew what they were doing, because it's one shot only is what I'm hearing. They had one shot only, but I don't think they shot her because I don't hear the bang. Even with it muffled, I don't hear the bang.
So what's the one shot idea then?
One shot to kill me.
One chance.
Yeah.
Not shot as in a bullet shot.
Yeah.
Okay, one chance to kill me. Okay. Wow. The fact that you are describing the issue, what happened to her body, and the fact that you feel that there's something with the right side gone, and something happening with the left chest area. We'll find out very soon how close you are to that. So her autopsy, as I noted earlier, she had severe burns, but she also had multiple stab wounds.
Okay.
The burns were from a very high temperature, as we mentioned. Okay. Covered much of her body, particularly the right-hand side of her body. And the stab wounds were focused on her chest and her abdomen. Okay. So that might be where you're feeling this kind of area. So very bizarre combination of injury.
Yeah.
Okay. Initially it was unclear as to what was her cause of death, the stab wounds, the burning. But they end up finding out from their autopsy that she was stabbed from a knife wound to the heart. That was what killed her. Okay. Now I'm going to give you one more headshot of this gal just to see before we move to another shot that's very disturbing. Here's another picture of Mary Sherman. Again, these are very close to her death, I would say, age-wise, in her early 50s, because she died at 51. What do you see? Do you see anything from that before we talk more about what happened?
I just feel like a really warm personality.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
just because how do I word this properly? Just because she's smart doesn't mean she can't be like everyone else. That's how I feel her. Like she's got this kindness to her.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, I know she was well liked, and I wouldn't know if it was well loved, but she was definitely well liked and well admired. And as you say, for the time in the 60s, for a woman of her age in her 50s to be such a serious scientist,
Yeah.
a professor, a scientist, a researcher, an orthopedic surgeon, quite remarkable for the times. There's no doubt. So go ahead.
Was she working on leukemia?
No, she was working on bone cancer, I believe.
Okay, that's why I was thinking leukemia, because leukemia is bone cancer.
Oh,
isn't it?
Actually, I guess it's a form of bone cancer. I think of leukemia more the blood part rather than the bone part.
Okay.
I'm actually not entirely sure. Okay, well then I'm going to say we are going to look at photo number 10, and I warn you, it's going to be one. It's a black and white image, and it's an image of figures of a body and the damage that was done to this body. So it's very descriptive. We'll talk a little bit more, but have a look at it. It's blurry, I know, and I've rewritten the terms so you can actually see what they actually said. But you'll see we have a photograph, a profile of a male or figure, I guess, doesn't really matter, a body. On the left-hand side, we have the body from the back, and what it is missing? It's missing its right arm. So this is photo number 10. Okay, these are the injuries Mary Sherman suffered. Part of her head, the right-hand side of her head, was damaged and burned. The right arm burned completely away, and it was gone. It was not to be found. Done. Okay, no bones, nothing.
Yeah.
Combobulated and missing things. You were right. Her body, as you can see in her chest area, as you said, the viscera, in other words, the internal organs, were exposed. The external part was burned away. So when you kept rubbing around your chest saying there's something missing here, something missing here, you're totally right. There's a lot of things missing there. The fatal wound, as a third figure shows us, is a knife wound straight to the heart. And she had multiple stab wounds on her legs, her arm, remaining arm, and her chest. A lot of burning to the face and that right side.
Like they tried to remove her image, so people really didn't know who she was.
Well, do you think it's like somebody trying to burn off fingerprints so they couldn't tell the person was, or do you think it's more a symbolic thing?
I think there's a little symbolism in this, because most people are right-handed, moving forward, doing things. And the fact that they only got part of that means half of her had to be out from under the mattress.
Well, I wondered that myself. I don't know what the layout was, the alignment. Yeah. It's hard to imagine. The mattress is, I guess, burning above. She's underneath, being burned, already hopefully dying or unconscious. and dying from the knife wound. Does the whole mattress burn to the ground before the firefighters come? And so partially she's damaged. I don't know what the scenario was, but it's maybe the idea of the mattress being on top of her mothered part of the fire from part of her body and then opened it up perhaps to the part that was where the mattress was, open to the side.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very bizarre kind of result, don't you?
It is very bizarre.
So why would someone kill Dr. Mary Sherman in this manner?
Well, there seemed to be some anger attached to it. I still feel like it was more done in a demonstration to hide something, not to. It doesn't feel like a serial killer.
Okay.
Okay, that's not what it feels like. It doesn't feel like revenge. It doesn't feel like robbery. It feels like I'm trying to eliminate you from the face of the earth so no one knows what or who you are.
Okay, well, couldn't you just do that with a single gunshot, with a single stab wound, with a strike?
But by allowing her appearance to still be known, which they ended up doing in the long run anyways, it's like they wanted to make her invisible. There's what I'm looking for.
Erase her from the face of the earth.
Yeah,
And if you're erasing her, does that mean you're erasing her research?
everything she's done.
Everything she's
Which is surprised. I am surprised that they didn't go to the clinic when she was doing her research and get rid of it too.
that did not happen. As far as I know, it was just purely her. So to me, following your line of thinking, which I think is a sensible one, the information she had was in her head lab.
Maybe she never took the time to write it down
Maybe some information you don't write.
because during that was when was the Cold War?
In the 60s and 50s.
So that was when information was best kept to oneself than
Absolutely.
put anywhere.
Absolutely, like terribly paranoid time frame for
Yeah.
the government and the people worried about the government being in their lives. Okay, well, I think I'm going to take you to one next step, which is you had mentioned two things earlier, which blew my mind. You thought about being in a lab and you thought about, the sound of a monkey or
Yeah.
monkey, chatter of monkeys. And you also mentioned one of your favorite elements in this business is conspiracy theories. So this is a theory as to what happened to Dr. Sherman. It's a conspiracy theory, and it's all generally known as the Dr. Mary's monkey hypothesis. Okay. And it's a sensational theory. It was popularized by a book by a fellow named Edward Haslam, and the book is called Dr. Mary's Monkey, suggesting that her murder was tied to her work in cancer research, where monkeys were used as test subjects, and her possible involvement in unnamed but secret government projects. This is the conspiracy coming in, right? The peculiarities of the crime combined with the lack of progress, because the police did not make much progress. They did not know what happened here, and they did not know who was the perpetrator. This led, of course, the idea of a cover-up. That's, the natural thing that most people come to think about if they're sort of on that leaning on the conspiracy side of things. That whatever was being done was to protect something from the public.
Yeah.
Something for the government. Logically, it would be related to her research. It wouldn't be because she was an orthopedic surgeon or a professor at Tulane University in New Orleans, but because she was doing some presumably groundbreaking, new, original research for cancer in her own labs and with her own work. So I'm going to show you the shot of the book title, of the book cover of this Dr. Mary's monkey. Okay. Have a look at this photo number 11. And I'm going to show, it's just, if you wouldn't mind reading, if you can, read the little blurb under the title.
Dr. Mary's Monkey: How the Unsolved Murder of a Doctor, a Secret Laboratory in New Orleans, and Cancer-Causing Monkey Viruses are linked to Lee Harvey Oswald, the JFK assassination, and emerging global epidemics.
Isn't that a conspiracy theory? Or
No kidding.
Link it to the JFK assassination. That'll really pull your attention in. Okay?
Yes.
No, the idea was there was she had an affiliation with an individual who had an affiliation with Lee Harvey Oswald, who we know assassinated JFK. So this individual is pretty well the prime suspect for this entire murder. Nobody else seems to have been brought forward as even a possible suspect from the police's perspective. So do you get a sense of who this individual might be that is considered to be the one who undertook this bizarre killing of Mary Sherman?
Okay, I'll still go with the dark hair, the white shirt, the tie, the dark jacket. So I'm still going with that.
Okay.
The hair is a little different than the police officer's hair I saw. I don't think he's a lover, but I feel like I should know his name, but I don't.
Well, have a look at image number 12, which I can tell you. This is a man named David Ferry.
Oh, isn't he cute?
Isn't he cute? And does he not have dark hair? Is he not wearing a white shirt, dark tie, dark jacket? Now, of course,
Yeah,
dress of the time, but
it was.
pretty cool that you had this image of this man, okay, or
Does
a man
he?
like this.
Okay, does he have access to plane fluid? Plane, like airplane fluids?
Now,
Gasoline?
why would you ask that? Just on the,
I thought it was plane fluid that burnt her.
yeah. Well, he was a former Eastern Airlines pilot.
There you go.
There you go. No one, the research I've done, no one has actually put the gasoline high temperature burn to the fact that he was a pilot. As far as I found, I didn't see the link. So you linked that. That's pretty amazing. When you say it, I thought when you talked about it earlier, the gas, I thought, we're talking about a pilot. So yes, he was a very eccentric kind of guy, David Ferry. He was a former pilot with the airlines. He also had connections with Lee Harvey Oswald because he was in some civilian aviation group. In this case, Lee Harvey Oswald was in the same group. Not that he necessarily knew him very well, but they actually knew one another. They were in the same kind of. So of course, he's got this link to Lee Harvey Oswald. He has a link to Mary Sherman through her cancer research. Sort of tenuous links, but he does indeed have links to her. So you take the link of him, you take the link to Lee Harvey Oswald. Obviously, the jump to JFK is pretty direct. And you've got Mary Sherman kind of linked a bit in the background. So this is why this idea of the conspiracy, governments wanting to cover up something that Mary Sherman was involved in, can take such a large step onto the stage, because you could just have JFK assassination come along beside you, right? There's nothing ever do it. But man, it's a great companion to bring forward as a conspiracy idea. People would just go, wow, I'm going to pay attention now because it's possible it's got to do with JFK. I don't think it had anything to do with JFK. I think it may have had to do with her research, but I don't know if that's true. And I don't know if David Ferry is the one who is the murderer. What do you think?
Looking at his picture, you used the word eccentric on him, and I would also say that Mary was eccentric, and maybe that's why they were friendly. I don't know if
you always catch was saying something, just have to be drinking.
when I look at him, he doesn't look like a murderer, but how do you know what a murderer looks like?
You often have people talking to you.
I know, but with him, when I say Mary, I don't feel like he did it. Well, I'm looking right at him. I just don't feel like he's not devastated.
Right.
Obviously, he was the prime suspect, but they couldn't pin it on him, or else he'd been in jail.
Did not.
So,
but they could not nail him for anything.
no, he's squeaky clean. See, he's got a smirk. When I said squeaky clean, I saw that side of his mouth go up just a little bit more. That made me think, whoa, wait a minute, maybe I'm wrong.
I used that last time we were talking about Christine Demeter and Peter Demeter.
Yeah.
He said something about him changing the way he looked.
Yeah. It was just like, you can see he's not smiling or anything in this picture. But when I said, I don't see him guilty and I know he's a suspect. And then all of a sudden it's like the side of it. There he goes again. He's smirking.
So he's smirking at you.
Yeah. So maybe he knows who did it.
Oh, okay. So he's smirking not because you think he's guilty, but because he might have knowledge.
Yeah. And maybe there's the question they should have been asking him. Do you know who did it?
They probably did, but whether he answered or not.
No, he would have said no. Same night here.
No. But you think he might have known.
I think there's definitely that Dr. Mary's monkey, about if they're linking it to a conspiracy, I don't put it past it. It's not, this is too freak of it's not an accident. It's too freak. No one else has died like this. Like I
Right.
said, if it had been a serial killer, there'd be more. This was a one-off.
Right. Well, I think I believe the author of the book, Dr. Mary's Monkey, alleges his sort of total idea is that she was involved in covert experiments to weaponize cancer cells as part of a Cold War era biological warfare effort. Wow. Exactly. We're talking way over the top. But that's the theory that this Dr. Mary's Monkey author makes. So there's something about, if that were true, she wouldn't be, I wouldn't imagine, the only one part of the research.
There would have been other people involved.
So why knock her off in such a horrible way? But why knock her off?
Maybe because she wouldn't give the information. Maybe she had a change of heart, conscience.
Yeah. So we don't know who killed her. We don't know why she was killed per se. We have an idea that they wanted to eliminate her or make her invisible.
When did Agent Orange come out?
I think in the 70s, because it was the Vietnam War.
Yeah, so maybe she
So yeah, well, it wouldn't be surprising, I guess, because someone obviously developed Agent Orange. I'm not saying Dr. Sherman did, but maybe the work she was doing, she might not have wanted it to be used to. She was a doctor. She's, do no harm is the first thing.
Yeah.
The medical doctor, not in first and foremost. So perhaps she had developed something that someone else found could be useful in a negative biological warfare kind of way.
Yeah, she could have. How many times have people stumbled onto cures just like that?
Right. So she might have stumbled on something she didn't want to be used in a negative way, and she was silent.
Yeah.
Is that our final definition of our understanding of how Dr. Sherman died, do you think?
She stumbled onto something and they didn't want her to voice it.
Why was she murdered in such a bizarre manner?
That would definitely take away from what she's doing.
Yeah.
The concentration now is going to be on how she died, not on what she developed.
Aha, the old red herring. Big time.
Yeah.
Okay, I buy that. It's good. Okay. There you go. Well, I would say her death is a very compelling event. It's very tragic. It's intriguing. It brings in the sort of 60s societal upheaval, all this idea of the paranoia and the CIA running around. So obviously it's an enduring mystery in New Orleans, but I think it's an enduring mystery for all of us. It's quite a bizarre one. So I think I was right in calling it woo-woo freaky.
Yeah, it was woo-woo freaky.
Great. Well, thanks, Darcy. You were excellent again tonight. And you could so early on understand that she was missing parts of her body, that you could smell burning, that you could smell airline fuel.
Yeah.
The idea, the link to the high level of the higher flame burn level temperature of gas. Like, wow, you just were flying tonight. You were cooking with gas tonight.
Okay, well, it's been great as usual, and we will see you next month.
We will indeed. Thanks. Good night.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Seeing Dead People, where goosebumps are guaranteed. We would love to hear from you with questions for D'Arcy about her psychic process or suggestions for other mystifying situations you would like us to investigate. Please shoot us an email to info@radiosydney.ca with Seeing Dead People in the subject line. New episodes air on our website, radiosydney.ca, on the first Saturday of every month. Episodes repeat Saturday nights at 8 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., both Pacific Time. All episodes are available as downloadable podcasts at our website or on our YouTube channel, Nicola Furlong Mysteries. I'm Dorian Mortis, weirdly keen on seeing dead people. This has been a presentation of Radio Sydney.